Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. How to pick 'em. What's she up to now? Just finished a Get Up and Go preliminary piece. Gonna do another Get Up and Go challenge on August 1st through 31st, but that's, a week and a half away. So instead of just leaving people hanging from the last Get Up and Go 40 plus day challenge, rolling right into some preliminary content, just some overall general things that we as human beings often overlook or don't even think about. And one of those is the exact how to pick them, meaning how to pick what is right for us in our life, what is right with respect to our career, what we're going to study, what our priorities are, what our college experience is going to be. Are we even going to go to college? What the next course or the next coach or the next whatever it is that we want, car, house, significant other. How do you pick them? Well, there's a three-step process it's easy. We all, as human beings, make decisions based on emotion, but we always follow them up with reasons and justification and reasoning. So we think that we make decisions by thinking about them and planning them out and being so smart about them, but for the most part, we decide and choose things based on emotion, and then we find ways in our mind and our brain with our reticular activating system to prove that it was the right choice for us. Have you ever bought anything, a car, a house in a neighborhood, or a big coaching program, and then you bought it based on emotion? Man, I really like this red shiny car, and you never really paid attention to it before, but now that you're driving it, you see them everywhere. Or you bought a house in a certain neighborhood and you bought it based on emotions, and then you spend all kinds of time justifying that neighborhood, that decision, reminding yourself and your family why this is the perfect place for you to live. We do that with everything. So that was the topic of the P1, preliminary one for the Get Up and Go challenge today. How do you pick the things that you pick, and how do you make sure that you're doing and picking the best right thing for you? So shared 3 steps on how to do that. 1, you got to know what you want. 2, you have to do your homework and your research. 3, you have to look at more than one alternative. So often I've fallen into the trap where I have a problem, and so I start looking for a solution, and instead of it, I don't do this anymore, but I used to sort of just go for the first thing that I thought would alleviate the problem or help the problem. So nowadays that's not the best way to make choices, because when you're picking anything, if you go to the grocery store, or say you have a blemish, have you gone to the lotions and potions aisle lately in any store? If you have a blemish, you used to go to the store and you had maybe 1 or 2 solutions that you would get. Now it's a whole aisle of what you could pick if you have a breakout, or if you have a rash, or if you have a bug bite or something. So it's easy to look at different alternatives, but you want to do your homework. You don't just pick the one with the pretty package and assume that that's going to solve your problem. So that was the topic today. And then tomorrow I will share, and I'll do 11 different topics between now, or 12, how many days are between now and August 1st. Different topics, different things that can help people find and deal with areas and aspects of their life immediately, so that we can take faster action. I think a lot of times, and we'll talk about that, I think the problems that people have when they face a challenge or a crisis or chaos, the major stumbling blocks and how to overcome them, so that you don't fall trapped to procrastination or putting things off or perfectionitis or things. We'll talk about those things, as well as preliminary content leading up to the next Get Up and Go challenge, because Get Up and Go challenge is all about knowing what you need to do, and then absolutely positively taking that action as quickly as we possibly can, because the only time we can react and act is in the present moment. So talked about that. Tomorrow we'll talk about simple ways to select among alternatives, because the topic today, how to pick them, led into, okay, well, what are ways to analyze? Because if you're going to have me look at more than one thing, how do I analyze the different things? And it's really easy, and we can find a simple, easy way to do it. Or, of course, you can do a complex computer-generated modeling way to do it. But I say most of us don't have access to that technology or knowledge, or even the desire to use computer modeling to come up with alternatives to solutions and to analyze alternatives. So let's learn a simple way of doing that, because there are super simple ways of doing that are very effective, and probably as effective as the complicated computer modeling systems. Fun challenge today was all about tokens of friendship. So that was kind of a fun one. It's one that was pretty complicated. I'm actually sharing the picture of the page from the journal as a comment on the post so that people can see the different alternatives that they can choose from. Haven't done that yet in that page, so that's kind of an interesting shift and trick that I'm using. I actually have used it several times, that strategy or that way of sharing information in the Get Up and Go challenge. Mostly the Get Up and Go 30-day challenge I did that in, which was back in April, which is also available on the Get Up and Go challenge page on Facebook. If anybody ever wants information or access to the challenges I've done in the past, just ask, and I'll point you to the page or where you can find it. A lot of them won't be in order unless it's in a private group, and I put it under units, and units are relatively, well, they're probably not that new, they're probably a couple years old, but unless I put the challenge in a unit section and put them in order or in a membership area, then they are just where I made them, and they're in reverse order generally. But they're all accessible. I don't take my information down and have it disappear due to scarcity and wanting people to do something. I want you to do something when it's right for you, and only you know that. I don't need to manipulate you into thinking that you need to take urgent action. And I know that's anti-marketing, and that's not the way to do it, because we're supposed to create scarcity and urgency so that people will act. But I like to think the people that I work with are smart enough to know when something is right for them, and they choose it when it's right for them, not because I put some time limit on it. I hate that. Always hated that. It feels yucky to me. If it feels yucky to me, then I don't do it. Have I tested it and tried it in the past? Yeah, it felt yucky, so I don't do it anymore. Once I put my content up, my content's up, right? And anybody can find it. And if you're having trouble finding it, just ask. If you're having trouble and you've got stress in your life, ask about Stress Buster Bootcamp, or ask about the stress challenges I've done in the past. Why? Because I had tons of stress in my life, and I needed to figure out how to conquer it and how to overcome it. So back before I even did anything on the internet, I was doing stress challenges. I was doing challenges to reduce my stress. If you've got a blood pressure challenge, just ask. I did a 90-day blood pressure challenge at the end of 2019 because I needed to get my blood pressure down. Probably need to do it again, but back then I needed to get it down. And any business topic, any business or business growth topic, just ask. Supersize Your Business today was about handling things with kid gloves, which usually means handling people gently and kindly and delicately, like your grandma. You should always handle your grandma kindly and gently, not manipulatively, but kindly with kid gloves. So that's it. That's what I'm working on today. Working on, again, I've mentioned vaguely a couple of other projects because I'm not 100% committed to them yet. They're projects I've been thinking of doing for like 20 years, and I'm just saying, what have I put this off for 20 years? Why haven't I done it yet? And every time I'm asking myself that about a question, it usually starts to pop up in something that I actually do and take action on. It's like anything else. We always have infinite possibilities and infinite opportunities of things that we could do, projects we could do, things that we could work on, things we could create. We have to decide among those alternatives. Maybe I'll analyze one of those projects tomorrow and use that as a demonstration and Get Up and Go challenge, just to show people that I do the things that I teach all the time, every day. I'm not going to teach you something in theory that I don't use. And I really appreciated Dennis Waitley about 3 weeks ago did a challenge on triumph in turbulent times, or triumph over turbulence or something. And I've been listening to it over the weekend, and it was interesting. He shared that for decades he taught goal setting and how to set goals to people, but he didn't really do it in his own life. He didn't really apply it to his own life. And I found early on in my coaching that I was doing that in certain areas. I was coaching people on things that I believed wholeheartedly in, but I wasn't actually applying and doing in my own life. So now I made a promise to myself, if I'm not doing it, I'm not going to teach anybody how to do it or coach on it. It has to be something that I'm actually doing and have successfully done. I'm not going to share it with you. It's just my own personal belief system, and a lot of coaches, a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people believe in the fake it till you make it thing, and I'm like, well, if you're faking it, you haven't made it, so you shouldn't be coaching and charging people money and teaching them how to do something that you've never even done yourself. Anyway, just my own personal beliefs. That's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, make an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up, ask in the comments below. During COVID, I'm able to make that offer and help people because I've you know, we're locked down still in many areas, in many aspects, some of us with health challenges more so than others. So I have the time and the energy to devote and help more people. Also, I haven't said this out loud yet, but I am looking for a virtual assistant. I have needed one for a long time, but I need a new VA. So if you know of anyone, hit me up in the comments below. I am actually working through how to pick them. What is my criteria for a virtual assistant? Who do I need? What do I need? What do I need help with right now? And I have some really simple things that I can offline, that I've got processes and systems that I've been doing for a couple of years now, so it's really easy to offline those things. And then I've got some other projects and things that I'd like a more advanced person to help with, in terms of the Get Up and Go Challenge specifically, but also in terms of some other projects that I'm working on and working on with other people. So if you know anybody, I would love recommendations. One of the ways I like to find people is through people that I know and that have recommended them to me. It's one of the best ways to pre-screen people versus just putting out a call and getting thousands of people that you have to screen through. All right, have an amazing day, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow. Bye.